It all comes down to this. The top two teams of the season face off with a prize of unlimited prestige. Next on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Welcome, everybody, to the last Quiz Kids game of the season. We have our top two teams who have battled ferociously all season long, and here they are competing for the winning spot and my everlasting respect. They are the Crystal Springs Upland Griffins and the Bellarmine Bells. Gentlemen, congratulations for making it this far. Good luck to you. We have an extended game. We're going to ask questions for years. And ultimately, one of you teams will emerge victorious. It all starts with the first toss-up question. Ready? Good luck. Here we go. This Thane of Glamis eventually becomes Henry?
Macbeth.
Correct. For 25 points, Macbeth gains the throne by murdering which king? The father of Malcolm and Donalbain.
Duncan.
Correct. And for 50 points, after killing Duncan, Macbeth worries about his inability to say what word which stuck in his throat when he had most need of blessing.
Help.
Sorry.
Forgiveness.
The word was amen. Amen. Next toss-up. The Lord Mayor of Birmingham, Joseph Chamberlain, was the father of which British Prime Minister who negotiated the Yes, Andrew.
Neville Chamberlain.
Correct. For 25 points, Joseph Chamberlain quarreled over the issue of Irish Home Rule with which grand old man, the liberal rival of Benjamin Disraeli?
Gladstone.
Yeah, Gladstone.
That is right. And for 50 points, Chamberlain helped provoke which imperial conflict in which British General Redvers Buller was humiliated during Black Week?
Is that the Boer War? It was the Boer War.
Yeah. It was the Boer War, and you got 50 points. Next toss-up. Shrimp, krill, and crabs. Elliot.
Crustaceans.
That's right, but it was also my lunch. For 25 points, like other arthropods, crustaceans have what kind of chitinous body covering that provides protection and body rigidity?
Exoskeleton.
That is correct. And for 50 points, which 8-letter adjective describes the limbs of crustaceans, each of which divide into two systems of linked segments?
8 letters. Segmented.
Biramous. Biramous. Here is the next toss-up. Lake Sakakawea is a reservoir, Ved.
It's on the Missouri River.
It is on the Missouri River, but that is not the correct answer. It is a reservoir located in a state between Montana and Minnesota. Name that state whose capital is Bismarck.
North Dakota.
For 25 points, the lake is on which river that forms the western border of Iowa?
The Missouri.
That is right. And for 50 points, the only North Dakota city with a 6-figure population is which one across the Red River from Moorhead, Minnesota?
Fargo.
That is right for 50 points. Here's your next toss-up. A fictional bureaucratic rule prohibited crazy pilots from flying, but yes, John Cheat.
Catch-22?
Correct. For 25 points, who wrote Catch-22?
Heller.
Right. And for 50 points, which main character of Catch-22 was based on Heller's experience during World War II?
Yossarian, right? Yossarian.
Yossarian.
That is right for 50 points. Next toss-up. The Grand Griffon was wrecked in the Orkney Islands. It had sailed from with which supposedly invincible fleet sent to invade England in Yes, Jared.
Spanish Armada.
Correct. For 25 points, the Armada was dispatched by which Spanish monarch whose claim to the English throne stemmed from his marriage to Mary I?
Philip II.
Philip II.
You are right. And for 50 points, which English captain and explorer disrupted the Armada's preparations with the 1587 raid on the harbor of Cadiz?
Francis Drake.
You got 50 points. Next toss-up. Fluorine has the greatest value for it on yes, Elliot.
Poly.
No. Fluorine has the greatest value for it on one common scale at 3.98. What is this quantity which describes the tendency of an atom to attract electrons?
Electronegativity, right? No. Attract electrons.
Yeah.
So electron affinity.
You need to give me your answer.
Electronegativity.
That is right. Don't listen to Ved. For 25 points, the electronegativity is often given units named for which scientist who also proposed a triple helix structure for DNA?
Pauling.
Pauling, I don't know.
Pauling.
That is right, Linus Pauling. For 50 points, another calculation for electronegativity, the average of ionization energy and electron affinity is named for which man who developed molecular orbital theory?
Sanderson. There's another for Sanderson. Okay. Sanderson.
Mulliken. Next toss-up. In 1964, Dr. Luther Terry chaired the committee that published a report linking what activity to chronic bronchitis and lung cancer? Elliot.
Smoking.
Yes. For 25 points, at the time that report was issued, Terry held what government position?
Secretary of.
No, what's it's Surgeon General?
Oh, yeah.
Surgeon General.
Surgeon General is right. For 50 points. In 1964, which government agency required cigarette manufacturers to include the Surgeon General's warning on all cigarette packaging?
Is it the FDA?
The FDA. Yeah.
Food and Drug Administration.
No, it was the Federal Trade Commission. Next toss-up. By number, which amendment in the Bill of Rights guarantees the right to a trial by jury? Yes, Andrew.
6.
Yes. For 25 points, Mr. Cunningham is the lone juror wanting to acquit Tom Robinson in what novel?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
That is right. And for 50 points, Henry Fonda played juror number 8 in what 1957 Sidney Lumet film based on a play by Reginald Rose?
12 Angry Men.
You got it for 50 points. Next toss-up. A gold death mask was among the items Howard Carter found in his tomb. Andrew.
King Tut.
Yes. For 25 points, Tutankhamun's father was which monotheistic pharaoh?
Akhenaten.
That is right. And for 50 points, a bust in a Berlin museum depicts which wife of Akhenaten who had joined him in his new religion?
Nefertiti.
You got 50 points. Next toss-up. Frédéric Chopin's Opus 10 is a collection of these works. John Chi.
Etudes.
Correct. For 25 points, Rudolf Kreutzer wrote 42 etudes for which string instrument?
Violin.
That is right. And for 50 points, Chopin wrote his revolutionary etude for which instrument in which hammers hit strings?
Piano.
You got 50 points. And that is the end of the round. Bellarmine has 175. Crystal Springs has 275. We'll be right back. We are back. We're going to say hello to the teams. First, the Crystal Spring Upland Griffins. Gentlemen, I'm going to ask you all the same question, which is, it's been a great year, a great season. For you, personally, what is the most meaningful thing that has happened to you this year? Elliot.
The most meaningful thing that we did is definitely come up with great nicknames for the rest of the team. I'd like to introduce my friend Crazy Ivan here. He is our resident Russian expert, and his favorite movie is The Hunt for Red October.
All right, Andrew.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Potato Eater over here, whose only bit of knowledge about Vincent van Gogh is his painting, The Potato Eater.
All right, and Henry.
I'd like to introduce my friend, Mr. Andrew McMillan here, whose nickname is Neg5 because in the NAQT scoring system, he buzzes in early, he buzzes in often, and he buzzes in wrong. So he gets Neg5 a lot.
Well, I'm glad it's been a meaningful year for the three of you. Let's turn over to Bellarmine. Maybe they've had a similar type of season. Ved, what do you find the most meaningful thing that's happened to you this season?
Definitely getting a full scholarship from the State Department to study in Germany next year.
That's very exciting. Good for you. John Chi.
As a team, we wrote a tournament set that was rated exemplary by PACE.
Very, very impressive. And Jarek?
Being on Quiz Kids Finals is definitely one of the highlights. But also, all three of us here on the Bellarmine team traveled in April to DC for the National History Bowl, and we placed third in the country. So that was very exciting.
That's exciting. Jarek, I give you guys the nickname Successful. No, also successful. All right, let's continue with the play. All right, here's your next toss-up question. In finance, this term refers to the variation of a price over time. To a chemist, what same word refers to the tendency of a substance to vaporize Excuse me, John Chi.
Volatility.
That is right. For 25 points, Freon is one brand name for which volatile compounds used as propellants and refrigerants.
CFC.
CFCs would make sense, right?
Okay. CFCs.
That is right. For 50 points, while volatility usually refers to the evaporation of liquids, it also applies to what process in which a solid becomes a gas without passing through liquid phase.
Sublimation.
You got 50 points. Here's your next toss-up. The anatomy lesson of Dr. Nicholas Tulp and the Night Watch are masterpieces. Jarrett.
Rembrandt.
Yes. For 25 points, among Rembrandt's works, one is with two circles and another with beret and turned-up collar. What kind of paintings are these?
Self-portraits.
Self-portraits.
That is right. And for 50 points, Rembrandt painted this biblical character in the tavern. Another of his works shows this character's return. Who is this character?
Prodigal Son.
The Prodigal Son.
You got 50 points, and you are tied. Next toss-up. Albert, Augustus, and Alfred were the three of which seven brothers? Elliot.
Gnomes.
No. They were the three of which seven brothers whose circus bought that of Barnum and Bailey?
The Ringling Bros.
That is right. For 25 points, which French pointillist of a Sunday afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte painted a yellow-clad acrobat riding a horse in the circus?
Pointillist.
Seurat.
Right. For 50 points, an espionage agency known as The Circus figures in many of which author's novels, including Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
I got the Christie. I don't know.
Huh?
I got the Christie.
Your answer.
Christie.
No, John Le Carré. John Le Carré, but you've taken the lead. Next toss-up. It uses primers and a namesake enzyme. What's the name of this technique used to amplify, Ved?
Splitting DNA.
No. What is the name of this technique used to amplify a segment of DNA?
PCR.
That is right. For 25 points, DNA and proteins in solution can be precipitated out of solution through what process of spinning the tube at high speeds?
Centrifugation.
You are right. And for 50 points, what's the name of the technique in which fluorescently labeled antibodies for a desired protein are used to find that protein?
ELISA.
Western blot. Western blot. You are tied up.
Okay.
Next toss-up. It was enacted following a sharp drop in demand for American agricultural products in Europe. What was this controversial 1922 tariff that made it more difficult for U.S. trading partners, Jarek?
Smoot-Hawley.
No, made it more difficult for U.S. trading partners to pay off their war loans.
The McKinley tariff.
Say what?
The McKinley tariff.
No, it was the Fordney-McCumber tariff. Here's the next question. In one play by this author, the discoveries of a marine biologist named Rossum led to the creation of artificial people. Which Czech playwright wrote the novel War with the Newts and the play R.U.R.? Yes, Janchi.
Chopek.
Yes. For 25 points, R.U.R. introduced which word which was derived from a Czech term for coerced labor?
Robots.
That is right. And for 50 points, tired of stories in which robots turn on their creators, which science fiction author developed the 3 laws of robotics?
Asimov.
And you got 50 points and the lead again. Here's the next toss-up. Their existence was demonstrated by Frederick Soddy. What these different forms of an element which are distinguished, yes, Elliot?
Isotopes.
Right, thank you, because this was a weirdly phrased question. For 25 points, in cobalt-60, the 60 is what number sometimes represented as A?
Atomic mass.
That is right. And for 50 points, which isotope of hydrogen can be produced along with helium-4 by bombarding lithium-7 with neutrons?
Isotope of hydrogen.
Deuterium.
Tritium.
One of the two.
That is the end of the round. 325 for Crystal Springs, 350 for Bellarmine, and we will be right back. This is the last chance we have this season to give thanks to the coaches for these amazing teams. First, though, she is not here in person. She's here in spirit. For Crystal Springs Upland, Miss Kelly Sortino. And he's here in spirit and in person for Bellarmine, Mr. Chris Fleetus. Thank you, guys. And we move back to the next toss-up question. Good luck, you guys. This author wrote about a boy whose mother is going blind in the adventures of Augie March. Who wrote Ved?
Saul Bellow.
Correct. For 25 points, Saul Bellow wrote Man Underground, an essay critiquing this author's Invisible Man. For a time, Bellow also shared a house with which author of Juneteenth?
Ellison.
Ralph Ellison is right. For 50 points, Bellow mentored which author of Zuckerman Unbound, The Great American Novel, and Portnoy's Complaint?
Portnoy's Complaint.
John-Chi, your answer.
Pynchon.
Philip Roth. Next toss-up. It combines Avogadro's, Boyle's, and Charles's laws. Yes, Elliot.
The ideal gas law.
That is right. For 25 points, which modification of the ideal gas law uses the constants A and B to correct for the non-zero volume and intermolecular interactions of non-ideal gases?
Van der Waals law.
That is right. And for 50 points, the translational energy of one ideal gas particle can be expressed as 3/2 of which constant times temperature?
Planck's constant.
Boltzmann's constant.
That's physics. It's all the same.
Next toss-up. What's the 6-letter mathematical term for a set A in relation to a set B if every element in A is also, Elliot?
Union.
No, is also in B.
6 letters.
Yeah.
Any mathematical.
Union.
Everything
Addition.
In A is also in B.
No.
Everything in A is also in B. So.
John-Chi, your answer.
Addition.
A is a subset of B.
Oh.
Next toss-up. Iznik, which includes the ancient city of Nicaea or Nicaea, is a town in which modern-day country? Yes, Jarrett.
Turkey.
Right. For 25 points, Iznik tiles have what distinct color which they give to Istanbul's Sultanahmet Mosque?
Blue.
Oh, okay.
Blue.
Right. For 50 points, the clay used to make Iznik tiles is largely composed of what mineral made up of silicon dioxide?
Sand. Sand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sand.
Is that a mineral?
Sand.
Quartz.
No.
Next toss-up. Which author wrote the epic novel of the Napoleonic period, War and Peace? Jarrett.
Tolstoy.
Right. For 25 points, which other Russian author's short stories include In the Ravine, though he may be better known for such plays as The Seagull?
Chekhov.
Right.
Chekhov.
And for 50 points, which author of A Sportsman's Sketches wrote about the nihilistic Bazarov in Fathers and Sons?
Turgenev.
Turgenev.
You got 50 points. And a certain Russian expert from Crystal Springs is cringing. Here's your next toss-up. The first pair of cranial nerves, the olfactory nerves, are required for what sense? Jarek.
Smelling.
Right. For 25 points, what division of the autonomic nervous system responds to stressful stimuli through what is known as the fight or flight response?
Adrenal. Yeah. Adrenal glands.
Okay.
Adrenal glands.
No, the sympathetic nervous system. Next toss-up. In music, a C major triad consists of a C and what 2 other notes? Andrew.
E and G.
Right. For 25 points, what adjective refers to a chord in which the root is not the lowest note, such as E, G, C?
Complex.
Andrew, your answer.
Complex.
An inverted chord. Next toss-up. The last of these elements is Lawrencium. What is this group of 15 radioactive elements? Andrew.
Lanthanides?
No. You can steal.
Actinides.
15 of them. Radio.
Oh, transuranium.
Just try acting.
John-Chi.
Actinides.
That is right. For 25 points, as one moves across the actinides from actinium to Lawrencium, electrons are added to which subshell?
D, I think.
F, right? Or
Which
F.
one? Which one?
4? Oh,
4F.
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 5F. That is the end of this round. 360 for Crystal Springs, 470 for Bellarmine. The final round is coming up. We'll find out who we crown as champion when we return. Welcome back. Gentlemen, throughout this game, you have all proven why you are here at the finale, and I congratulate each and every one of you for your hard work and your brain power. But now's the time to determine who will be the winner and win the ultimate prize of taking me to a great dinner somewhere, wherever you wish. All right. Crystal Springs, since you are behind, you get to choose the category. The questions are worth 30 points each. You need to answer 4 to take the lead. Answer all 7, and you'll give Bellarmine a little bit more work to do if they want to win. And the categories for this final game are the center, islands, and second cities. Which category would you like?
We're going to go with islands.
Islands. So we begin to think about summer vacations. I'll name one of the 25 largest islands in the world, and you tell me what country it belongs to. Okay? Good luck. Greenland.
Denmark.
That's right. Baffin Island.
Canada.
Right. Sumatra.
Indonesia.
Right. Honshu.
Japan.
Right. Luzon.
The Philippines.
Right. Sakhalin.
Russia.
Right. You should get that right, Henry. And finally, Tasmania.
Australia.
You got them all right. You have 570 points. Good job, gentlemen. Bellarmine, they've been worthy opponents. You just need 4 to win the game and the championship for the umpteenth time on our history. Would you like the center or second cities?
Second cities. Second cities.
Second cities. I will name a country, and you name its second most populous city as found per nationsonline.com, all right? What is the second most populous city in the USA?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
That's right. In Canada,
Vancouver.
Okay. Vancouver.
Montreal. Toronto is number 1. New York City is the number 1 city in the US. Israel.
Tel Aviv. Yeah, that might be first, but okay, try it.
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv is the second most populous. Jerusalem is the first. China.
Beijing is the second most populous, right?
Beijing.
Beijing is number 2. Shanghai is number 1. You need this correct, and you win the game. Norway.
Trondheim. I think, wait, no, it's Bergen or Trondheim. I think it's Bergen.
Bergen.
Listen to Ved. You've won the championship. Congratulations, Bellarmine. You guys played a great game, Crystal Springs. Bellarmine, congratulations on being the Quiz Kid champions for the 15th season. Thank you all so much for watching. As we end the 15th season, I would just like to give a big thank you to our director, Jim Reisinger, who has been with us for many, many seasons and who is finally moving to, I won't say sunnier climes, but more relaxed climes with his wife, and will hopefully come back and be a guest director, but will not be our regular director. He has been a wonderful work partner and a great friend. And so we all want to say thank you, Jim, and the best to you in your new chapter. All right, everybody. We hope you'll join us next season for season number 16. Until then, I'm Brad Friedman saying thank you and bye-bye. You've gotten the Russian question.